Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the EU Qualifiers, the playoffs, the last day of the EU Qualifiers. It is our grand final matchup between syndereN and OG. Game 3 just completed. syndereN, despite having a pretty interesting draft, they came through. They were able to take the game, and it is now 2-1 series score. As we jump into our next game, the draft will be ready in just a moment. I'm Mott, joined by syndereN, Draskell yet again, and Toby from abroad back once more. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good. I thought Toby was going to answer first, but I guess I'll cut in.
Yeah, jump in for him.
I heard you talking from across the room, so it took me a while to get back.
Ah, he was from abroad.
From abroad, in fact.
Yeah.
That is not the real Toby, by the way, in case anybody was wondering.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah. Well, the real Toby, please stand up.
There's actually a lot of giveaways when you look at it, why it's not Toby.
The fact that he's missing the back of his head, and that
That's
it's
one.
quite small.
The fact that his mouth
very,
isn't
very
currently
flat.
open.
Very flat. Toby would
Hey.
never wear that shirt.
I have been on a diet, and that's a wonderful jacket. Isn't it the Dota 2 jacket?
Yeah,
Still on my
But
mannequin?
you would
Yep,
not
it
wear
is.
this jacket. I've never seen you wear this jacket. And
It's
you have
also-
it.
I actually got that jacket, and hilariously enough, when I got it, it was one size too small because I got it an extra large, and it seemed to basically be like a European large. I'm like, well, I'm screwed.
That's kind of weird,
maybe-
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Usually an XL for us is like an
thanks,
XXL
we love
for
fine.
you.
Yeah.
It was a great jacket. We love fine.
Good shout out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's free right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
In a very
I still
positive
have
way,
it.
too.
I-
Nice
I-
endorsement,
That was
Toby.
it's like me wearing a couple of other shirts the other day that I actually had to tape up, but I'm wearing a nondescript.
Solution.
Yeah.
Oh, you just
Tape
reminded
up?
me.
Yeah,
You just
I was wearing a nondescript guide T-shirt. And
You wanted to turn it inside out.
I did. I
The
thought that-
tape was my idea.
Yeah, Andy came up with a brilliant idea. He's like, "Why don't you just tape it up?" I'm like, "Well, that
Look,
would look
you gotta
silly."
look janky if you're gonna hide the logo anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
So you gotta just go full like duct tape right across.
It was not only janky, but it was also like I had one piece of tape that covered up most of the logo, so it looked okay.
you messed up your first tape run.
Yeah, then
That's
I'm
the
like, all right, I
problem.
need a little bit more. Let me get this extra piece of tape, and then I couldn't cut the extra piece of tape off the roll, so it just looked like this little thing on the end of the logo, and I looked like an idiot.
And then
was
you
good.
As
wanted
per
to write
usual.
your name on it, so you wrote Mott, but you wrote it mirrored and upside down.
And it didn't matter because you couldn't see the mod anyways. I didn't write it big enough. The writing was too small, so it just looks like this random scribbling on my shirt that nobody can understand.
See, this is why we need wardrobe people for events.
I'm sure it's
Just so
fine.
To be honest,
All this is solved. Hey, I got to give you props, syndereN.
Thank
I am
you.
very, very impressed. This man, I remember when you used to buy a dress shirt, and you were like, I'm not even going to iron it.
No
you
ironing.
pulled it straight out of the package, and if you looked at it, you'd see it's like the box lines on the shirt. He hadn't done nothing to
Did you
this shirt.
actually iron it?
these are nice. These are no iron shirts.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I was
say,
gonna
I'm
say,
they
pretty
don't even
sure
need
that-
iron.
There was no
So
way you
I
ironed
would-
that shirt. It just came out looking
To
that
be
way.
fair, though, at events, I do actually iron my shirts now. I do do it. I
Ah,
do do
okay.
it.
Impressive.
Unless if I
My-
have them under a blazer or under the jacket, then you don't need to iron them.
Which is most of the time, to be fair.
Yes,
So
and
you
that's
barely iron
great.
it. Okay. I mean, I suppose that's fair. If you have a blazer or a suit jacket on, you don't really need to iron it
Yep.
for the most part. Because you also have a tie covering it too. So.
I never use a tie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never wear a
Interesting.
tie.
Ties are horrendous. Do you remember what happened with that tie when we were casting at TI, Sind? And you had to take over the play-by-play for a while.
Because you were
It's-
choking yourself with a tie? What happened? I don't remember this.
Pretty much. So like I had the tie up, and my Adam's apple basically just slammed into the top of the collar, the buttoned-up collar, and I basically just like it was like giving my Adam's apple like an uppercut.
This sounds
And I
probably
was
a
like-
bit more dramatic than it actually was, but it's a great narration, though.
For a good minute, I could not talk properly, and then you carried us
For a
through.
good minute,
stepped
I
in.
could not breathe. And when I was on the verge of dying, someone came and untied my knot. Well, it's good you made it, Toby. We're glad to have Toby from abroad still with us as we head into draft number
Unfortunately, I
4.
lost a little bit of oxygen to the brain, which probably explains a couple of things.
Yes,
Jeez.
that actually does explain a lot.
All
Game
right.
number 4. We have
Yeah.
our picks and bands coming in. All 4 bands. That's 6. It's hard to
Hey,
count
look,
without oxygen in the
Ember,
brain.
Ember got through.
I
Ember's
really like
through.
the Murata band.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I was gonna say during the last game, I thought with how Forev played this and the fact that they can play it so flexibly, I'm really glad that they banned it out here. I think it's a very good choice.
Why did OG ban IO?
Good question.
Do they feel like it's a risk?
They're not first pick.
Yeah, but Wind and Rain have been banning iOS first pick against Blinkpool today.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Yeah, I'm not
Snag
sure.
Wind Ranger. I would imagine we see something along the lines of perhaps an Ember Spirit here.
Perhaps.
Oh,
Or the Phantom Lancer
do they
1-2.
do PL Ember?
Is it Warlock?
PL Warlock.
Warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going back down this road again, boys.
Wind Ranger not exactly the best hero against PL either. She can at least stay alive for a bit, but she can't really kill him very well. The good thing for her is if she gets focus fire on the real PL, she stays on target after Doppelganger.
Yep.
It's one of the very few buffs that actually sticks through.
It's like that and Razor Static Link and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
two of the good
There's
ones.
very few.
Did you guys take away my headset?
Yeah, I was just gonna say about that. I was pretty
Huh?
impressive how you were coming through the audio with no headset. on.
Hashtag silenced.
Oh!
Wow, I can't believe the
Have they
Madmen
played
actually
this
did it.
before?
I don't remember if they did. I don't think so. I want to say off the top of my head.
Is this a
I'm
Ritsu
checking.
or a Kaiser here?
I think. Oh, maybe Kaiser played it once, or not Kaiser.
Bryle.
Right, Bryle played it once.
Or yeah, sorry.
Bryle has played it once.
You got me all tripped up, Andy.
I tripped myself up,
I know.
okay? I didn't need your help.
So I think, honestly, after the first 2 games, the communication in the team was just, okay, we need to do something different. We're going to roll with whatever we like in the game. And in the game before, they picked something different out of the box. They got the Elder Titan, they got the Void. And this time around, they're like, okay, Ember's a hero against Phantom Lancer. We haven't played it much, but
They played
need
it
to beat them
11
on
days
that.
ago. They played it 11 days ago versus Nico Dog. Obviously, qualifiers. And they ran it with a Wind Ranger, Morphling, Magnus, and Jakiro.
And Morphling is still available too, which is something they pick a lot.
it is.
It was also mid. It was also mid.
Yep.
Have they been? Has OG been banning Morphling against Wind and Rain in this series, or have they?
They
been
did
letting
it
through?
one
They did, yes.
game. They did it, or 2 games? 2 games. I think last game and game 2.
Yeah.
They banned Morph.
I wouldn't be surprised if they banned it out here in the next ban. They take away the Elder Titan, which is interesting because they just picked it that game, and now it's just. OG
I mean,
don't
Milan
like
had
it.
a really good
It's
game.
true.
on it.
I mean, he did a really good job, especially in the early game. But his stomps were definitely on point for sure.
He was super good the whole game.
Yeah.
He might actually, when you think back on that game, he might actually rival for MVP. All his spell casting was almost perfect
Yeah.
every single time. Countless 3+ man stomps and combinations with Void as well. So very nice game from Milan. They don't need to worry about it now though. I think they'll leave Morph. I don't think they're scared of Morph plus Ember as a carry
No,
or core
I don't
duo
think
when they
so
have
either.
PL.
That's right. They have the Phantom Lancer, and we've already
Yeah.
talked about this
I don't
matchup
think
at length.
the Morph matchup is that bad for him. They could consider it. It's still, if there's nothing better that they see to ban, they could ban Morphling.
I mean, in the one game Wind and Rain lost earlier, they had that Morphling in the first series of the day. They had that Morphling, and then Madara went off on that PL. So I would actually agree in that the PL matchup is pretty good here for OG, and I don't know if Wind and Rain will actually pick it.
I think OG will pick Earth Spirit again.
You think Earth Spirit?
Yeah, he's good against both these heroes.
I mean,
It goes
Naga
both ways
is-
against Ember, but
Naga's also pretty good.
that did not work well last game.
True, but I think that's a one-off. I think that's a game where you don't really fall into the rhythm of where you need to be and when. And plus, there's no Void.
And
And
it was also No-Tail playing instead of Jerax. And it,
Yes.
like we were discussing, wow, it's No-Tail on that, not Jerax on a 5 or on a 4 Naga. They played a 5 Naga for No-Tail, and we were saying, well, No-Tail is a Naga expert, but maybe he is more of, it's one game, right? But still, he is a core Naga player. And generally, one of his biggest strengths as a core Naga player, from my perspective, was that he was really good at using Song. So I was a bit let down in that game. But maybe maybe I
Forgot
just
about
feel a bit
Sky.
more comfortable in the game with playing a defensive support Naga on Jerax.
Yeah.
Who knows? Doesn't matter though, we're going to get a Skyrath. There's no Witch Doctor. They have the Warlock themselves, so sustain will be a big problem in this case, actually, for Wind and Rain in their laning.
Yeah, absolutely. And they can pair this with another hero that could be even more aggressive in that bottom lane, or bottom or top lane if they want to set it up there. There's a lot of different options for OG.
Nature's Prophet, perhaps, for Wind and Rain?
Yeah. That seemed to work well for them. Was it them that played it, I believe, in the first series of the day?
I don't think you pick... Yes, they did play Nature's Prophet. I just... it was in the second series. They played it in
It
game
just
1 of
feels
this
to
finals.
me that
Oh,
Wind
okay.
and Rain really emphasize, like, If they can't get their hands on sustain, they just go for flat out lane pressure, and that's it. Like, just pick the strongest possible thing you can think of to lane against it.
Whoa.
That's the last sustaining support that's left.
Wow.
We haven't seen it at all, so you forget about
Give me
it. But
Husker.
I mean, I get it. It's a strong lane.
Oh,
It's
shit, Huskar's in it.
yeah, he's
sustain.
available.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. They could try for it.
Ooh, this could be greasy.
They would have to take it here, though.
Yes,
They'll
they
have to
would.
take it in this phase. There's
And-
no way OG let that through.
And remember, that was the one game OG lost besides the previous game we just saw.
I
And-
think OG just thought about it, and they were like, uh-oh.
Oh, but they got Sib's Beastmaster. That's another hero that was available that usually gets banned that first phase against him, but it gets through even through the second phase. He is really good on this hero.
I actually
Really good.
think Dazzle Huskar loses this lane to Skyreth Beast. I don't think they have enough sustain. Beastmaster has physical damage. Huskar has like no armor. Huskar needs levels before the magic resistance starts mattering. So on level 1, 2, and 3, they might be able to bully them quite a lot. We'll see if this stops Wind and Rain from getting it if they're thinking about it at this point. Additionally, Beastmaster with the right itemization can definitely cause Huskar some trouble. And
Yeah.
if they try to dodge, if they put Huskar mid instead of safe lane, they can lose all 3 lanes.
I think Huskar is so risky right now.
I don't really like it, to be honest.
We just went through a wide variety of emotions regarding Huskar. Oh, they can
Yeah.
pick it. Oh, it's going to be okay.
I like
Well,
this
it was
Beastmaster
okay
pick is
until
good.
the
In
Beast.
the Beastmaster, yeah, I know, but it's just funny. So the OG picked this 2 games ago. They had the Earth Spirit to work with it. Wind and Rain will grab it now.
The Ember
Why?
Darkseer is a classic pairing. It's very, very strong. You Ion Shell with the Ember, he goes in, he basically kills everything. This will absolutely decimate illusions in the early mid game. The PL will have a very hard time coming to fights, even with a Diffusal Blade.
This
I feel.
is the only really big upside to Darkseer in this game, though, is his plays with Ember. He's not
Yeah.
particularly good in lane at harassing a Phantom Lancer that has Warlock heal. They're
If
just going to
it's-
sustain and farm, I think.
Do you think they pick another pairing for their last pick then?
And then put...
Maybe like SB or
They
something?
could put Windranger mid and get... Yeah, that's possible. If they can combine it with a strong enough 4. Milan has played Spirit Breaker. That could be an option.
I mean, there's no early game stun, so you get free charge every lane.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you go.
It definitely could be a pickup. We'll see.
I think
I
you're...
don't think this lineup uses Darkseer enough for me to like the pick, at least.
Yeah, I guess the one problem you would have then if you picked SP is your ability to kill Roche is non-existent, and you need to win your lanes hard.
Yeah.
I wonder what they go for, actually. It's quite a weird situation for Wind and Rain's lineup. I mean, their lanes are clearly strong, but what do they do after the lanes? They have to just play constant pressure all the time.
Yeah. They do. They seem a bit limited, and they don't have last pick. So that's the other thing. OG can actually pick a counter pick to both Ember and whatever they want to put mid. So maybe you're better off simply committing at this point to Windranger mid, getting a 4 that's strong with Darkseer, and then that's just the lane you're going to have. Whatever comes mid, it's Windranger's problem. She doesn't really have much trouble, so I think they're going to be fine. But that... I'm just not seeing that magical pick that makes me like, of course, for Wind and Rain, right? Even the Ember Spirit or the Earth Spirit that we saw OG play just doesn't feel that good this game. He's not great against anything. You can Doppelganger out of Magnetize. Beastmaster is relatively tanky. Skywrath Mage is a difficult catch and has a silence against you. You don't want to go on Warlock. So what's your actual play in the game with something like that? Maybe Breaker is still the best choice. It's just, do you want to pick that into Lancer? Can't charge Lancer.
You just have to win the other lanes. You have to win them so hard that the PL can't deal with it, because during the mid game you're going to get carried by the Ion Shell Ember, right? And at that stage in the game, the PL doesn't really want to play.
I ended up banning Morphling. So they are expecting it to be a support Windranger with Darkseer combination, or they're just not scared of any of the Force because of Warlock.
They're just covering their bases too. They don't want to play against the Ritsu Morphling, even if it is a good matchup for OG in this situation with the Phantom Lancer. It's just something they want to take out to feel comfortable.
Yeah, the only good matchup they have against Morphling is PL. So they might feel like, okay, if our PL doesn't have a perfect game or things go a little bit wrong early on, we don't want to have to deal with this extremely powerful hero against the rest of our picks. Skywrath hates that, hates the Morphling matchup once Morphling has like 1 item. Warlock doesn't particularly enjoy it either. So, or rather, Skywrath, you more specifically, I guess you'd need BKB, unless you can guarantee that he doesn't cast Arcane Bolt on you onto your Lincolns. I'm a bit uncertain. I think OG were uncertain too. They took a lot of time. They ended up banning it. They were probably
Yeah.
just like, whatever.
They had a minute reserve time at the beginning of that ban, and they just.
Pugna ban.
So I mean, we are. I mean, looking for the Topson hero 2 for OG, and there are still plenty of his heroes available. They did ban out. Actually, no, they're not. Invoker's ban, Monkey King's ban. They just banned the Pugna.
They're gonna pick Zeus.
Zeus, exactly. Zeus
I'm
is
very
still available.
certain of that. I think it's a great Zeus game in many ways.
Yeah.
Fatal Bonds.
Oh.
Spectre.
Okay.
That
Okay,
is
that-
a very weird pick.
That makes Zeus a bit weaker, but now they know there are some really abusable mid picks here. If if Thompson played Huskar, man.
This game would be
Oh.
very sad for Wind and Rain.
I think that would be.
It could happen theoretically.
Like, what else would you do? You can't put Ember in it. You could technically put Ember 4 and Wind Ranger mid, but that's the kind of the thing you're.
Oh God.
That's the kind of thing you're looking at then, or you would have to put a support Darkseer.
Wait, what?
What?
It's a
Wait, what's
Skywrath
top
mid.
Skywrath mid?
Scarth mid.
Yeah,
Okay.
Skywrath
Wow. They actually busted it out in Game 4.
And they pick Oracle to solve the Iron Shell and the Flame Guard.
Oh,
and
man.
the Wind Run. Dude, this is dope, man. That is cool.
What?
That
is
is
a
really
really
good.
cool turnaround. I like this.
That's crazy.
They seem very happy with themselves too, with all the Yahoos.
I mean, that was a really nice
this is really cool. If the
It's like let's be overconfident, boys. We're going to TI. Oh
'Cause
shit.
there's no. I haven't ever seen this matchup, I think, but I feel like Ember Spirit should get trashed
He
by
does.
Skywrath.
He
There's
gets
like
dumpstered.
no way. There's no way any of these heroes plays mid against Skywrath.
And you can't. Can you switch
can't.
it up? Can you send it to somebody
No.
else mid?
Everyone loses to Sky.
Everyone loses this lane hard. Darkseer, technically, but then you're playing an offlane Ember or a Spectre. Because Darkseer can just push the wave, right? Like, Skywrath can't really kill the Iron Shell creep that easily.
What about pushing Wind Ranger into what's mid? Is she able to escape at all?
Who's the
to play
support
from
then?
range?
No. The Wind Ranger is not actually that good matchup for Sky because Wind Ranger relies on trading with Wind Run, but it doesn't do anything against Arcane Bolt. You're just eventually going to get low HP and have to go back.
And it wouldn't work anyway because you
Yeah.
would play a support Darkseer
Yeah.
in that case or
Yeah.
something. So I don't think they have that
Yeah.
option.
It's disgusting either way.
Okay, I think OG, they let Wind and Rain have their fun in the last one, and now they're going to close this out. This looks really solid to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, with that, game number 4 underway, and we'll send it over. Take it away, boys.
Wow, there goes my dream for game number 5. But hey, we thought game number 3 was in the bag for OG, and we were proved wrong, Sind.
Who knows? Anything
Very,
can
very
happen.
wrong.
But this was one of my favorite picks I've seen through these full 2 weeks. This ending switcheroo on the
Oracle.
Skywrath and Oracle. I think that Wind and Rain were also in their minds. They already had the Skywrath placed as a support. Even though earlier today they did ban it against Thompson specifically in one game, they might have lost their focus on it, or they just felt like they couldn't cover their bases entirely. And OG just pull one out here. This is really cool.
Seb's dropping his Tango and Salve on top lane, just in
30
range,
seconds
in
to
vision of the Dire Tier 1 tower. Just a reminder, he's here and ready to have fun. So let's just double check our lanes, because right now the Oracle is on top. Addison Erasmus is already going to come back. So bottom lane, it looks like it will be Anna and the Oracle. They need him to counter against the Darkseer, who does have the golden gloves. So it'll be Forever and Millen on the off lane. Ember versus Skywrath mid. So the horrible matchup that WR did not want to have. And then it leaves Ritsu and Dazzle on top lane to go against the Beastmaster Warlock. So 2 healers behind the 2 melees.
Oh, Ana is
melee
actually in
close.
trouble here.
He's
getting
got
run down,
Doppelganger
body block.
available. He's going to have to use it. Does he juke? One illusion to the left, one illusion, one real
that's
one to the
wrong.
right, and they're body blocking the wrong one. So he's back to safety at least.
That could have gone scary for him, actually. He committed for the bounty rune, but ended up getting away.
I kind of I know the bottom and top lane is kind of where potential kills can happen. I want to see just how well the Ember's able to do against the Skywrath.
Yeah, I'm curious about this too. I think Prowl has a little bit of space in the beginning on level 1. You see him skilling Searing Chains instead of Flame Guard because it's just going to get broken by 1 Arcane Bolt. But it should be getting really difficult when Thompson hits especially level 3 and level 5. It's the consistent harass. Good job so far in the CS though from Prowl. Has the Quelling Blade advantage as a melee hero and bought 2 flasks himself. So definitely knows how to approach this.
Yeah, actually saw Thompson using his Arcane Bolt to get the last hit on the range creep before. Easiest way to secure it. Now, this top lane is also going to be an absolute thugfest. With so much heal between them, at least Dazzle's heal is a little bit more efficient, but he needs it to be when the axes are up. But that mid lane's pretty even for now.
For now, yeah.
Same for top. PL's not having the greatest time on bottom. Not as much as he probably would want, but then again, I don't think I could say the same about Forev. His Iron Shell harassing down the way, but Durex is really staying on top of him. And now, okay, Forev. Where's that one flying up to? That's up to Wind Ranger. Top lane, trouble for Seb. Back underneath the tier 1 tower. Fatal bonds on Ritsu as well as Dazzle makes it so hard to keep diving.
Yeah. Like we talked about, Dazzle was probably their plan C after Witch Doctor and Warlock for this, so doesn't really have the same laning prowess as the other two. And OG are taking advantage of that to have a great time top lane for Seb. He's 11-3 against 5-0.
Thompson's actually starting to dumpster mid. Like, he's flying out of salve, he's delaying the bottle because he knows he doesn't have enough regeneration, but unless he gets the point up in Sleight of Fist, he can't keep cancelling these clarities. Try to come in close, and Thompson just keeps the pressure on. He's got another Arcane Bolt available, and that may actually just be first blood underneath the tower. With no regeneration, he knew he needed the salve, but he just couldn't get it there in time.
The problem in this lane is that even if Ember, let's imagine he stays even on CS, he's losing the lane anyway, because he has to buy so much regen. Look at the gold in mid. It's a 1,000 gold lead minute 3. Solo kill plus 3 flasks for Brile. He has nothing. He's just getting completely zoned off here.
And the scan just hit on Wind Ranger. So her rotation will also be scouted out by the Observer, what they have placed, so Thompson gets a lot of information here, and I think Millen's trying to bait it out. It's like, I'm not the real one. Even though he doesn't actually have a shackle, he's got Windrun to dive the tower with the power shot. But Thompson's just not letting up. He's got 4 null talismans.
Four nulls.
How the hell?
My God.
Yeah. Bottom lane, trouble as well as Forev. He'll actually... No, he doesn't. Surge away will not happen. The Purifying Flames finish the job. I think Thompson's kind of hoping for a little bit of a regeneration rune on top river. Oh, Millen! Oh, Millen! Oh, Millen! You didn't deserve that!
As a new beginning.
My lord!
How much
He
damage
does
does this
so much-
Arcane Bolt do? 100 plus 1 times 1.6 times 67. So they're like 200 and a bit right now on a 3-second cooldown.
Seb will die on top lane. They were fatally bonded up, and it's a bit of a rough lane on top, but yeah, that's
It's important for Wind and Rain to get on the board right now, because this is they're actually losing 3 lanes right now, so that helps a lot.
yeah. All the CS is going fantastically. The Beastmaster and the Spec are probably the closest of all, but it's the fatal bonds and the never-ending burning of consumables. So net worth-wise, Seb's actually still ahead.
Yep.
But the Oracle rotated off. He needs to get back down to bottom lane. Now these Iron Shells are level 2.
Brawl's
Needs to
jungling
stop
level
Anna.
4.
Is it really?
He can't lane. It's the only place. Skywrath can harass him without drawing 3 aggro. He's just gonna spam him out all the time. Maybe with a level 5, Brawl can try to come back to lane with a stronger Flame Guard, but I don't think it's still gonna be enough. Let's see if he tries it though. How many bounty runs? That was 2
It
per,
was,
I think.
yeah.
2 for each. There's one not picked up
Notel-
yet.
Yeah.
He picked them up with Seb's bottle, so a little bit of extra value there.
Spirit. I mean, Ember Spirit is able to pick up at least 1 with his bottle. Efficiency. Forev has to surge himself away again on bottom lane, starting to get zoned out. And Millen. It's like, what
Well,
the
can someone
hell?
else go mid?
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it. I thought everyone wants mid. That's the way Dota works, right? That's why when I queue for rolls and I queue mid, it takes me 17 minutes to find a game.
Notice Thompson's skill build, by the way. He's full-on focus on the harassing aspect of his build rather than the killing aspect. If you want to kill, you often get 1 point in seal and 1 in ulti on level 6, but he's just
So
anyone who comes
he just
here,
knows he wins
he just,
lane.
yeah, he's just dominating. This is like playing Huskar almost, you know? What he's doing in mid.
But a stronger version.
Well, longer range.
I think Ember Spirit, I don't know if he saw that the Observer was planted down, but he does not feel safe at the Trinity camp anymore. He's gone deeper into dire territory. They at least get rid of the Observer ward that's watching the rune spot. WR. My god, Ritsu's taking even more damage as well. That's only level 2 axes, and a swing of that takes away a third of his life, and yeah. Perez at least having the regeneration that Durex was nice enough to give him.
He barely got into the tree line there. He will be fine. And shelling out the wave.
Miller, don't go mid. He's a level 3 win range, just staring down the mid lane. That's a level 4 arcane bolt from the Skywrath Mage now, with the 4 nulls, and he picked himself up a Robo Magi, going in for the Kaya. Full
Treads
amp
first,
the
though.
Skywrath Mage. And Intel Treads, of course.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, so bottom lane belongs to OG. They're almost taking the tier 1 tower. Darkseer is really working out, but he's got no counter push. That's what G-Rex is able to shut down. The Ember Spirit has no influence anywhere, and yep, they actually get him as he's surging away, so there goes your escape mechanism.
He's fine.
Luckily for him, again, this Purifying Flames is kind of helping him out. But that's a heavy rotation top. They are coming for Seb and for No-Tail. Is TP support going to come in at all? In fact, No-Tail just walks away. It's like, ah, Beastmaster, you're dead. That's fine. No Sleight of Fist, won't Spirit jump forward. Huge rotation for no reward, really, apart from a Beastmaster kill.
Yep.
And I bet you're wishing for a Techies game right now.
No, I'm kind of just looking at the Dire and I'm thinking, what moves can they make that don't involve Bryle, who got destroyed in lane? There's not really many plays on the map. They don't have Haunt. Oh, actually, there's a play bottom for OG. This time they might get him.
Yeah, they got him.
Oh, no.
That was a lot better combination. And I had to take a little bit more damage for it, but it was fine.
It's just, you're looking across, right? Who's the playmaker? You have a level 4 Wind Ranger without Shackle Shot. She's not making plays. Dazzle cannot make plays. That's the biggest limitation of this hero. Spectre is weak and dying currently.
Melon is dying to freaking concussive shots. Axe is off cooldown at 1 second time, and yeah, Spec will go down. And Thompson, me.
They're going
You're
to
not
lane
the one
swap.
having a bad time.
They're sending Darkseer top because he doesn't want to lane bottom against Oracle anymore. And this means the big
Oracle
winner here,
TP.
Ritsu, has to go bottom.
They're going to gank. They're trying to use that combination that can work so well as the double Iron Shells, but the Iron Shell came up a little bit later from Forev, so they didn't get the damage, and with the Beastmaster Raw, they were forced back, and yeah, Thompson's looking for a kill. 4-4-1 build-up. They won't find anyone, but they smoke and look for another kill, and they're looking mid. They're looking towards Ritsu. Now we see just how well a Spec is able to handle a Skywrath Mage.
So they send Spectre mid.
Sealed. Oh my god! Save him! There's no shallow grave. He's got stick charges. They got the Warlock. They got the Warlock. Searing Chains and the Poison Touch. So No-Tail will lose his life. Held the stick charges. Knew he was dead.
Well,
and it seems
something.
Anna is now farming the Dire jungle.
Yeah, because who do you send bottom now? If Darkseer doesn't want to lane against PL, who's your alternative? I think Ember can stand there with Flame Guard on, and apart from that, he can't. Spectre has no
Wind
chance.
Ranger. What a time to win run as well. G-Rex has had the control down pat.
Yeah, he was trying to get a bounty rune.
I'm waiting for the aggressive Observer Wars just to watch this, like, watch the deeper farming areas of WR. So they know exactly what they can get away with.
3 bounties for OG there, by the way. Mid lane, they're going to gank Thompson, it looks like.
Well, they can give it a shot, but they've got Anna with a double damage rune, who's also still here. Lances forward, charges down. Thompson is dropping down low, but now Arcane Root back off cooldown, so he can get a kill over onto Millen if he wants to. Dodges the power shot perfectly, and my lord, this is just, this is a disaster. I can't use my own chat wheel right now. It's a disaster.
My god, this damage. It is so ridiculous. When Skywrath has a favorable matchup like this and he just goes full on in, these nukes are... It's absurd, really.
Does it sustain? Does it actually carry through? Like, Intel nuking early on is fantastic, but do they actually get a win condition now that's apart from just pummeling them into oblivion? Okay, never mind.
No Graves killed on Kitrak, he's 2-0-3 build.
Oh my god, and they're going again. Kitrak, there's concussive shots. They can't even tank it.
I
Okay,
got a bit
Spectral
too
Horn,
eager there.
Skywrath is down. Ding dong, the bird is dead.
This reminds me of the PL dive from Ana in game number 2 today. That was kind of reminiscent of that. Thompson's just like, nothing can stop me. And he can be stopped. And Ritsu gets the kill with a haunt, so a good amount of gold for him. But it still is an absolute domination from OG. 7,000 gold lead minute 11. And they're going to take this top tower as well. This Dire lineup.
I could just answer my question easily as well from before, which is the fact, like, okay, so Scarif may just nuking everybody down. Ana has, like, with the death of this tower, over 6,000 net worth. The PL will have a diffusal blade so early on, and how many times have we just seen Ana carry the game for OG? It's just the nuker. It's this
Bottom
combination.
lane.
I'm wondering. Oh yeah, goodbye. Very much.
He doesn't
goodbye.
even have ulti, man. Like, that's the Kaya pickup.
It's massive nukes as well. Like, it's not just coming in from topside. Like, Jirax just put the Purifying Flames on him when the seal's on him too. 35% amplification. Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Dire lineup to do stuff, and I'm just seeing a lineup that if it loses the lanes has like no play until they have Haunt. Haunt is the underplay, 100-second cooldown right now. You can put Ion Shells on the Ember, but they're just so far behind that he can't find openings by himself, and there's nobody who's going to join him and make him win that fight right now. This time around, syndereN just drafted some pretty greedy stuff, honestly. Darkseer and Spectre
what are these
together.
Observer Wards too? Like, these Observer Wards from syndereN, like, it makes me feel like they're trying to go for a gank at some point, but then the wards are so shallow they didn't see the smoke of OG. And they just look towards Ember Spirit in mid, who you hope has a defensive spirit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He does right now.
Yeah, and they're gonna find it. They actually found it. They paused the second they saw the spirit. If he jumps back to this, they kill him.
They could run into him with Beastmaster. Oh, never mind, Beastmaster stuff. They could run into him with Oracle, cast Oracle's first spell on him, and then he's probably gonna jump away, and then Thompson's gonna kill him on the Remnant.
Did they actually see? They don't see him though. Like, they have no vision around Roshan. The only Radiant Observer Wards they have are the ones watching the Trinity camp, as well as the one defensively on top lane.
They did see him moving north from the mid tower, though. So
true.
they could make the connection of the whereabouts of Bryle, at least.
Hang on. So we ready?
Okay.
I like how No tells us, like, hey, admin, can you ask them, please? So does he jump up?
They are not going for Bryle right now. They're
No,
going for
they're
Ritsu.
They have the Dire Observe Ward that actually saw the Spectral Dagger, the TP out to the right time. Warlock doesn't have his rock, and they'll just kill the Dazzle. And Darkseer, you better search. He knows this is not a place he wants to be.
So Dazzle got Ancient Sealed, Concussive Shot, and Arcane Bolted, and he had 5% health left. And then they right-clicked him once.
Cool.
He has 700 health, and he had a raindrop, so that gives us an idea of how much damage that combo is. Seal, Bolt, and Concussive is about 800 damage right now, out of Thompson.
And he just finished up a Veil. Making the most of those early null talismans he got. So yeah, Veil, Kaya.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So what is that? That's 115 intel right now on the Skywrath Mage,
Yep.
with a multiplier of 1.6.
Dire are scanning.
It's about 300 damage per nuke right now.
And then he syncs with all the other nukes which
Roar.
are out there.
He found Milan,
Radiant's bottom tower.
and
is
Milan
under
has
attack.
nowhere to shackle
Can
him,
he
and he
kill
will almost denied himself to the wolves.
And then on bottom lane, Spectre Snap TP is on cooldown for 12 seconds. He's gonna go, oh, okay, no tail. Drop the rock, why don't you?
Well,
Spectral Horn, when is he gonna jump? He's gonna jump up towards Roshan. He jumped over towards Seb. And now Seb, well, he actually jumps closer towards Ana. No doppelganger, 2 seconds. One charge will buy him. Just that second, and Thompson's arrived. He was trying to escape this nightmare. Ana, careful.
Oh, he died.
He actually stuck around. He turned around to battle the Centaur, which had the Iron Shell on it. Because Sleight of Fist Searing chained, and, well, okay. Ember, is that worth? He doesn't even have Graves
He's
still.
fine.
The 2 orbs.
he's fine. I think.
You're crunching the numbers? You're crunching
he's
the
not
numbers?
fine.
You're crunching the numbers?
I thought he had more health on the Flame Guard.
Oops.
Dire has so many wards out. They have 5 wards on the map, but they're all placed really aggressively, actually. Or the majority of them, anyway, are placed aggressively into OG's side of the map. But they're not really playing that much down there, so it's tricky.
They got all 4 bounty runes. Oracle's going to lose his life. He's going to false promise,
yeah,
and then heal himself up. Warlock's going to give him a shadow word. Darkseer wall is down. How much life has Jirax managed to get back into himself? Hello, Thompson! Oh, he's jumping in. Here comes the Ember Spirit. Switching to Strength Treads. Okay, now he's back to Intel. The Roar is out over on the Dazzle. A quick jump away, concussive shot. It already did so much damage and slowed down the Ember Spirit. They're going to keep this chase going. Concussive in 3, 2, 1. Boom, 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 sealed, and boom.
Oh, they killed him actually with Jirax's nuke.
Not so
Yeah.
winded now.
That's a good 360 damage,
Dire's top tower
amplified
is
by
under attack.
45%.
Radiant's bottom
And now they're
tower
looking towards
is under
Roshan.
attack.
Diffuser Blade as well as Hood's completed on the PL. So they're getting that tankiness that comes from the frontliner.
Ritsu's working on a Radiance. I don't blame him. I think any small items he picks up right now to try to fight are not going to cut it. They're way too far behind, so they have to go for like a Hail Mary item build here with straight Radiance. This is also his preferred build. We've seen it multiple times before, this qualifier. But damn, is the deck stacked against him right now. He will at least get this bottom tower, but it's going to cost him a Roshan. Aegis will go to Thompson.
Bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
Well, he is the primary nuker. And I think at this point his biggest issue is mana consumption. And is he actually going an Aghanim Scepter? Sure, why not?
He still hasn't skilled
Five-
ulti yet. He's level 13.
No.
Dire's top tower.
Well,
Does
he
he
has
really
to skill
need
at
it?
next level. There's nothing else to do. What are you going to do? He's running out of options.
Radiant structures
Yeah.
are fortified.
He is 4/4/4.
Yes,
He has
well,
no other
everything else.
choice. No attribute points these days.
He found Milan with the concussive. It's forcing out a TP.
Dire's top
Yeah, they know they
tower
can't
is under
survive.
attack.
Infused raindrops are kind of like the
Dire's top tower has
protection
fallen.
things now. Dazzle as well as the Wind Ranger have him. Yeah, but this seems... Yeah,
OG
Radiant's
are just...
bottom
Very-
tower
very
is
one-sided.
under attack.
They're very much in control of the map, basically. That might be an attempt
the
here
chase
onto
on bottom.
No-Tail, but he's next to the shrine, so they can just TP
he's
help it
got-
if they want.
And he's baiting the rock. He dropped the rock, has the Feather Bonds up, triggers up the shrine, and then false promise. He bought just enough time for Jirax to arrive. I don't think Dazzle will be as lucky to survive. That's more than enough damage from just physical damage. And goodbye, Ember. Thompson found him.
He was at the
Bell
shrine with his
buffed up,
remnant.
and then boom. He waited for him.
They might start
And
poking high ground here.
yeah, they will. They may actually just start killing people inside of the base.
They spend so much gold on raindrops, right? Like,
Yeah.
think about how much gold the Dire has used on flasks and raindrops this game. How much it has hurt them economically. There's like, nobody has anything. There's just no items. Ember has Treads Aquila minute 20.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This game is
It's just-
so totally over.
Has fallen. Radiant's top
You need
tower
some sort of a
has
miracle
fallen.
vacuum. He's level 1 vacuum.
Dire's middle barracks
You need
are
vacuum
under
into
attack.
wall and like 3 or 4 heroes with Haunt and Ember jumping in with remnants, or they're just not gonna
And-
die.
And then Ember gets defused as well as has all of his mana burnt out. So there's not even protection for him here. They're running through. They've already taken the mid lane. Rotate up towards the top. They're tanky enough because you got a Solar Crest and a Hood of Defiance and the Beastmaster.
Radiant's top tower is
He's
under
actually got a
attack.
pipe that just needs the courier to go back to base to fly it out. And Warlock's giving him Shadow Word in the meantime, and no one can stay close enough because one, they got no damage, and two, they don't have enough life to survive just the range harassment from Thompson.
OG
Dire's top tower
are
has
preparing
fallen.
for their victory lap.
Dire's
Currently,
top
there's
tower
nobody
is under attack.
even trying to
No, Darkseer is taking
interfere with
top.
their biking. So
Spectre's taking bottom. Hey, he got Relic. He got Relic on the
Radiant's
Spectre.
top tower is
And
under
Darkseer is
attack.
pushed in all the way to the tier 3
Dire's top
tower.
barracks has fallen.
But it does feel like this is... Yeah, they're going to come back. They're not going to lose a
Radiant's
Rax
bottom
for
tower
this.
is under attack.
1.5
That was
lanes claimed for
19
OG.
minutes in. 19 minutes in, they got a 1.5 lanes. Alright. Darkseer can survive a little bit longer.
Bounty runes.
He could-
At least Spectre will get one of those. Or 2, actually.
Opinions of nine.
He's on the money with that.
Not for myself.
I like it.
So this is
Upheaval.
basically gonna cut almost all of the damage that Dire has in half.
Ember's
as
dead.
Seb picks up a pipe.
Ember's dead. Ember's pretty much saving. They have a shallow grave. They think he's invis, but there's a sentry ward down and away. The orb, he's still veiled up.
This is gonna
He's
hurt.
still veiled up, and it's really gonna hurt. Then in stick one charges, he's
340
got enough
damage.
life.
I think the veil expired on him, actually.
It was still on when it connected.
Pharrev,
But
they have a
Pharrev,
roar.
yeah, that hood's not going to protect you. The shallow grave, however, it can. He's saving it. The shackle flies forward, gets the double stun, but Thompson's not controlled, and the rock will drop. Axes
Rock
won't
for
reach
what?
him. Yeah,
Dire's
I'm sorry.
bottom
Is
tower
that you
has
now
fallen.
doing music lyrics? Rock down for what?
Rock down.
Darkseer. There's your back and wall. He got a copy of Seb, but he didn't get the one he wanted, which was PL.
Seb
And the
straight
Rock's
up
still
pipes.
fighting. The shackles are out, but here comes your Spectral. Pawn, he'll go over, he does find the Warlock. Warlock on the run back out. But damn, there's so much Ana. There's so much orb spam. All I'm hearing in my ears is just arcane, arcane, arcane. They're even making extra copies in the wall just to give a fighting chance to the Dire defense. Power shot won't be able to connect on the Jirax. He's protected.
Dire's bottom tower has
Thompson's out of mana. He needs the Aegis. He needs to actually die. He needs to go and suicide himself. Okay, there's your regeneration. Radiance instantly cancelled it, however. So he didn't really get a lot of regeneration out of the Aegis, the Immortal.
Dire's
That's like
bottom
the
barracks are
the
under
best of the
attack.
scenario right now. It's still concussive. Orb, Axis available, roars up, and now he pops it over on the Ember Spirit. Burns him out, buyback's available, but right now they're throwing corpses at the wall. This is an unbelievably one-sided game, but it's exactly what every OG fan wanted to see. They were undefeated through the group stage. They lost one game during the playoffs at the very beginning. And another one
Dire's
here.
middle tower is under attack.
Game 3 gave hope for a Game 5. But this mid pickup, this mid Skywrath mage has just slaughtered everything. At least for, oh wait, okay, go for him.
Yeah. At least he gets a couple of kills on his way out, but that's Mega's minute
Dire's
22
top has fallen.
for
Yeah, they don't
OG.
have-
Now
They don't have
mega
counter push for this.
Oh.
Hey, they got the shackle! Kill him!
I shall not report.
905.
Looks like
Oh
they
my.
intend to play to the bitter end, but
No
Okay.
Tail's being hunted down by a siege creep with an iron shell on it. 425 movement speed by 389, but he backed off.
and this fight, this last really long fight could have maybe been slightly interesting if we didn't have this pipe on the Beastmaster, but that kind of just, it's just good itemization, right? It's the last nail in the coffin. How can they possibly fight us? They can fight us with Ember, Flame Guard, and Radiance. So just pipe up your entire team when you go for these bottom racks. They use all their stuff, can't kill anyone, just run out of steam. And the whole time, like you said, they're just getting harassed away. Arcane Bolts, PL Illusions, Axes, even a couple of Oracle nukes here and there. Just absolutely destroyed in this game. From draft to finish, pretty much. There was no real glimmer of hope. Let's be real here. From minute 5, it just looked hopeless.
Yep. The second the Ember went jungle, you're like, well, what purpose is there in this draft anymore? Seb gets the solo kill on the Wind Ranger. They'll move over. They're already starting off, trying to hit him with a Fortune's End. Remove everything that Ember has got to defend themselves and just push forward. OG, I really wondered if they were going to have a good performance after Birmingham. It's actually when I started to wonder, good rock, perfect fatal bonds. The Mystic Flares are bouncing on everywhere, but it's the double concussive orbs as well. They're all, the shots, it's just an extra orb for everyone. And yeah, this is the game. GG. GG is the call. OG will be the European representative through the qualifiers going to the International 2018.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. OG victory.
Can't say it's surprising and can't say they don't deserve it. They've pretty much been the #1 team the whole way through. Just one or two
Yep.
minor hiccups. One draft where they got destroyed by this team in the winner bracket final, and this last game where kind of everything went right for Wind and Rain, and OG had a sloppy game, honestly, and just made a lot of mistakes. But apart from that, like, There's absolutely no doubt that they were the best team this tournament by a lot.
Yep.
It was
So-
28,000 damage, the final count for Thompson
In a
And-
24-minute game.
in a 24-minute game.
That's
Yeah.
1,000 DPM. Is that a new term? Damage per
DPM?
minute?
It is now. Way to coin
Like
it.
we don't really
Sure.
use that metric ever. How
Not
much
really.
damage you've done per time in Dota, but that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Yep.
That's a lot of damage, Andy.
I just think that they like Winter Rain trapped themselves. Like as good as OG's draft was, they pigeonholed themselves into one very specific style of
Yes.
play. And honestly, even if they didn't last pick Oracle, I still think their draft would have been worse.
Yeah, I just think the lineup is really greedy, right? Your Spectre Darkseer is appearing in my mind that just sounds like we have nothing for a while. Like, look at it. Darkseer wants to stay in lane for a long time, push waves and farm, and he needs items.
Right.
Spectre wants to stay in lane for a long time and farm, needs items. Has a haunt once every 3 minutes, or 2.5, however much it is. And you combine that with two supports. One is being super defensive in the Dazzle, who can't do anything, and the other guy is a support Windranger who doesn't, like, you can skill Shackle Shot, but somebody's got to do the damage.
Yeah.
They just, if Bryle is not taking off this game, there's like zero way they win the game. And they shut him down in lane.
And they also made it very apparent that it
over.
was going to be Bryle because I don't actually think anyone else on their team even plays the hero. Plus, they banned Monkey King in the second phase, which just leads me to believe, okay, you're going to either pick a super weak safe laner who's punishable by Monkey or your Ember's mid.
Yeah.
So it's just like they showed a lot of their cards, and I feel like it's a drafting mistake that they've done a few times throughout the qualifiers, and it definitely hurt them.
And you pick, it's 2 melee cores and a Darkseer. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some overlap in what heroes are good against you in both side lanes and in the mid lane. So even if you ban that Monkey King, there were other picks, right? We saw it with the Skywrath Mage here. Emperor can't lane, Spectre can't lane.
Yeah.
I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 additional picks that if they wanted to keep the Skywrath on support, they could have still gone for in the mid lane and won this game. So.
I agree.
I mean, let's just take a second to think about this. What a tournament OG had. They had one bad game. That was last game. They had one bad draft. They only lost 2 games total throughout the entire tournament, including group stage and playoffs. They just looked, and you just mentioned this, they looked far and ahead, better than everybody else in this qualifier, by
And
far.
I think going into the tournament, most people considered them the favorites. And I think after we saw day 1 of the group stage, everyone here was just like, okay, OG's going to win, or there's going to be like some massive improvement from some team that we're not expecting, that they just need to get like twice as good over the course of 2 days, or they're not going to beat
Just
them.
get twice as good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just get good.
Reasonable.
Yeah. So sometimes when you go into a tournament, you can just tell that there's one team that's a lot better than the others. And
Yeah.
compared to other regions, I would say this qualifier has been the most predictable just because there's one slot. If there were 2 slots, it would have been very exciting because you really don't know who would get second. But the first place needed something special that didn't happen. So congratulations to OG.
Yeah, congrats to them.
This will be the first TI attendance for Thompson.
Yes.
I think Anna has played at TI before. He played with OG at TI6.
Yep.
I think. So there you go.
So we got some shout-outs to get through. We got a nice bag here. Pizza in a bag. If I can get it open. Jesus.
The reason it cracks me up when he says that is I just think of Grant immediately and the way he presents this, and it just makes me laugh.
It actually smells so good. This is the Buffalo Pizza style one. This is the one that I think that has hit a home run for most people, I would say. Have you had some of this, Sind?
I've had I can't remember which one I had.
I
think it was Buffalo that I did have.
Well, if you want to
pretty good.
taste it yourself, you can head over to bts.gg/pizza. You can use the code BTS for 10% off. A steal, in fact, and I would highly recommend it. So
An absolute steal.
absolutely. So that will do it for the European qualifiers. We do have Complexity versus Optic. I believe that series is underway, and I think they're getting into the next game here as soon as we're done. And
I think Complexity is leading.
I think they're in game. I'm
They
not
won
sure.
game 1.
Doesn't it say?
Okay.
Wait, is that screen wrong?
Oh,
Wait, Optic won the first game? I thought they were like
Yeah,
10,000
I
behind.
couldn't tell
Complexity
you.
threw a 20k lead.
20k
Oh.
lead.
20k. Yeah.
well.
Sometimes
So
that
we
just
will
happens.
jump into that as soon as possible. Of course, we're donezo. I would like to thank everybody for watching. Toby, thanks for joining us. Hope you had a lot of fun, my friend. Toby from abroad.
Toby from abroad.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us here on the couch. And we'll send it over to Complexity versus Optic. Bye, everybody. Oh, Jesus.